big final project. So the last thing we're going to do, actually kind of end in with something simple. It says multiply a polynomial by a monomial. Now these words, what does this mean? Polynomial means what?
Two.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just more than, once we got bigger than 4, we just quit coming up with names and just said polynomial means there's going to be many terms. Monomial means exactly how many terms? One. So we're going to take a polynomial in a parenthesis, which means there could be like 4, 5, 6, or 20 terms. And we're going to multiply it by one algebra term. That algebra term could be pretty ugly, which you're getting ready to see. So before we do it, let's just recall a couple things. Do you have a question?
I don't have a paper.
You don't have a paper? Oh, I've got your paper. That's all right.
That's not a question.
Really? I just gave you 2, or did Patrick take 2?
But that's not a question. That's a statement.
He meant, can I have a paper?
No, he just said, I don't have a paper we'd like.
You can raise your hand for statements. All right, so before we look at how complicated these are, I want you to think the simplest things we know. When you multiply two letters that are the same, like x times x, what do you get?
X2.
X2 or x squared. Now if you multiply letters that already have exponents, that was just x and x. If you multiply letters that already have exponents, like the P3 and the P5, what do we do?
P15?
So that's one thought, but it's actually P8.
Okay.
This is 3P. This is P times P times P, and this is P times P times P times P times P. So really, it's just saying how many times are you multiplying that same P over and over and over again? 8 times. So when you multiply letters, add their exponents together, and then you get P to the 8. All right, that's when you're doing the same letter. X and X makes X squared, or P3 and P5 makes P8. Remember what happens when you multiply different letters. You don't put them together. X times Y goes together, and how do you write it?
You put them next to each other.
Next to each other, and in what order?
Alphabetical.
Alphabetical.
Sorry,
Alpha.
I got dyslexia.
Alpha.
Omega.
There we go.
Omega.
Now here, this is AC. I'm gonna multiply AC times B, and then when I write it, I gotta put it in alphabetical order.
ABC?
Yeah, ABC. There are 3 different letters getting multiplied, so let's just put them next to each other. And then this last one, I've got this little chunk where I got A2, B3, and then I've got AC5. So first, put your A's together.
A3.
A3. Then your B's. And
A3, B3.
there's only
C5.
one. B3, and then there's only one C, C5. So basically you had to just get your A's together, which meant add those A's. And that's, even though it didn't have an exponent, an A is an A1. Like the stick size.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What is?
A1 steak sauce.
Oh, let's take
All right, this is what we're looking at. We are going to take a monomial and multiply it by some sort of polynomial. This time it's actually a monomial right here. So this is the monomial outside. And I'm going to take that monomial and I'm going to multiply it by the 2 pieces inside. So what you do is distribute. And I would draw these lines here to here. Let's just do that one thing. What is 4 times 3? 12. And then C squared and C is C3. Now look at your 4 answer choices. How many start with 12C3?
2.
Yeah, so the other 2 are out. It's got to start with 12C3.
I'm just going to guess and say to B because you can't multiply by 5 and get just C.
Yeah, well let's go, let's do, all right, for the second piece. Let's see if that's what we're saying here. Multiply the 4, and this is -5, so that's going to make what?
Negative 20C squared.
-20, and then you just have to tag that C squared along with it. So let's go 12C3 minus 20C2, and you got that on B, right?
How many of these examples are we going to do?
We can,
Because like, it's really easy.
we can skip example 2, go to example,
5?
let's go to example 4. We'll do 4 and 5.
Okay.
I want to do 4 because there's a trinomial in there, and then I want to do 5 because of the craziness.
I thought you want to do it because there's negative.
Well, yeah, they both have the negative. Yeah, 5 is just the craziest one I could give you. All right, so here, your monomial is all this. It looks like 3 things, -3, B, and C, but that is just one chunk because there's no pluses or minuses between them. So that's one monomial and then a trinomial inside. So I'm going to make 3 arcs here. This one times this one. Multiply the big numbers. What do you get?
-15.
Okay, so negative 15. And then we don't have any A's, but we have a 1B. So put the B. And then what do we do about these? I got C1 and C5.
C6.
C6. How many answers do you have that start out with negative 15, BC6?
1.
1.
Yeah, so that's it, right?
That's easy.
So it's got to be D. Okay, we're gonna do the rest of it, but yeah, you're right.
Oh.
At this point, I already know, but let's just do the other parts right here. Multiply these, and I've got another negative 15. What's my B? Not looking at the answers, like looking at the B what?
3.
3 and this one,
4.
so B4.
B4.
And then there's one C, and then there's two D's right there. And the last one you got, what's the number? Zoom out.
76. No, 7B6.
Negative 3 and positive 7.
-21.
So I got negative 21. I got 1B and 4 B's. 5 B's, and then you have just that one C that tags along. There we go. And let's look at the last one. The last one is kind of crazy because you got A's with exponents and B's with exponents everywhere. Alright, so here's your monomial. It's all this business right here. That's one piece. Inside, how many pieces do you have? 2. So you're going to make 2 arcs. First one right here, let's go negative 5 and positive 5.
-25.
So I got negative 25 is the number. Now, as you can see, all of your answers start out negative 25. Negative 25. How many A's do you have?
7.
7. So I want negative 25A7. And then your B's.
3.
Just the 3 that came from the monomial. Then the other arc, multiply the big numbers, negative 5 and positive 4.
-20.
So you have negative 20. Your A's, A2 and A3 make
8.
A5. And then B3 and B make B4. Alright, so you got
Looks like B.
negative 25, A7, B3, negative 20, A5, B4. What answer is that?
D.
See it over there? And it is D. Okay, so when you want to multiply a monomial by a polynomial, what do we need to do?
You need
Distribute.
to distribute everything.
Yeah, and it just, how many times you have to distribute means how many pieces do you have inside? 2 pieces inside, distribute here, distribute there. If you had 5 pieces, you're going to have to do 5 pieces on your answer, 5 arcs. And that's it. That is the last one we have to do, and if you want to exercise over 131, I'll go ahead.